This video tutorial will guide you through the use of user consent forms tracking in MyVision Express. This will help you keep your practice compliant with required insurance, patient consents, and notifications. You will be able to easily manage consent forms through the Letters module. Here you will be able to configure if the form is to be printed or electronic, and specify the expiration of the form. You will be prompted that consent forms are missing when you click on the payment button of an order that matches your setup. Consent forms are tracked via a new Consents tab in the Interactions section of the Patient's Profile module. Consent letters must be of order or patient types. They can be assigned to one or multiple insurances. There are also special types like poly lens decline and patient's own frame. You can also have a proof of delivery letter, which may be required for some insurances like Medicare in the case of post-op cataract glasses. ABNs can also be set up and made available via consent letters. Let's take a look at some of the ones that I've already set up. You can always add as needed. We'll go to File, Letters. And here in our Letters module, we see that there's numerous consent types. Again, it has to be of order or patient in order to be a consent letter. And here I've attached, for example, to the Hipaa one, the Hipaa Consent. There is a drop down here of the different ones. I set it to never expires, and all of them has been set to a print status. There's the Medicare ABN, Medicare proof of delivery, patient's own frame, polycarbonate lens decline, and if we click here we could see the letter detail, and it just gives them a little warning about using their own frame. You can of course custom design these letters in Word and import them, or you can also import them from any letters that users have created and shared. Here is a Spectera patient release. You will see that you can assign different consents to different insurances. We can add insurances here if we like. In this case, this letter will now print for all of the insurances you just saw. Again, here it would be set to every visit and print method. Let's see how these consent letters apply in an order. Prior to this video, I've entered an order for a minor child who will be using his own frame to put lenses in, and they're not going to be polycarbonate lenses. When you click on the Payments button, you will be prompted that consent forms are missing. Would you like to add them? Here I'll click Yes. It will bring you to this screen. When I click on the drop-down, you can see that the polycarbonate lens decline and the patient's own frame consent letters are available. Anything that's highlighted in red has already been printed out prior. Since this was an existing patient, we already have a Hipaa consent form for him, and since that was set to never expire, it will not ask you to do that again. So let's select our polycarbonate lens decline, select the order you want to print it for, and we can click Print. We can then go down to our next one and print. We can now close and click Add Payment. We'll now be allowed to take payment. And you are done with this order. Our consent forms have printed. You could have his parents sign for them, and they can be on their way. Now let's see a Hipaa consent. We have a brand new patient who called and made an appointment for an exam. He came in. Now his exam is done and we're ready to charge him. We'll click Order to find our order. And here's our patient. When we click on the Payments button, we are prompted that there is a consent form missing. Would we like to add it? We'll click Yes. And in this case, the only letter that is available is the Hipaa consent form. We would select it and print it as we did the others. This concludes our video tutorial. Thank you for watching. Please remember to visit us at Support Central, where you can view additional videos.